These are Josh's reforms. Now, these are just hot off the press, just been released. And clearly Josh has been a little bit lonely and a bit bored during isolation, probably sick of homeschooling, went to the garage, maybe to look for a hairbrush to relive the good old days, not too sure, but he stumbled over a dusty box, which was labelled Small Business Reforms 2014. Like all good politicians, he stuck his nose in and had a look and thought some of that had some good ideas and he'd claim them as his own. So he retitled it, made some tweaks, and that's proposed now to be legislation on the 1st of January 2021. So it's based off some proposed amendments by a reader back in 2014. I say there on the slide, there's been no consultation with industry bodies. I do tell a lie. An explanatory memorandum was released yesterday, along with draft legislation. We still haven't seen the rules or regulations that apply, and we have until Monday to lodge submissions to advise whether we think that it's a good idea or a bad idea. Clearly, it's a good idea. It just needs to be implemented properly because this is permanent law. It's not temporary law. So you want to get it right, and things done in haste have habits of having holes in it, just like a piece of Swiss cheese. So it's important that we do get it right, and there's a very narrow opportunity for consultation. If you don't mind just flicking the slide, Shane. So to qualify from what we understand for this small business reform, and bear in mind these numbers are based on the rules and regulations which haven't been released, but what we've been led to believe is the company to qualify needs to have liabilities of less than $1 million. The company tax lodgements need to be up to date, so that's your tax return and your BASs. Employee entitlements that are due and payable must be paid, similar to Safe Harbour. That includes superannuation, which may well knock out a lot of mum and dad type companies. It's also proposed as a protection mechanism that directors can't use this process more than once in a prescribed period of time, which is proposed to be, we think, 7 years. And if it's found that there is misconduct, such as Phoenix type activity, the process will convert to a full liquidation. If you flick the slide, thanks, Shane. So this is a debtor in possession model. What that means is when the proverbial hits a fan, the directors continue on and continue to control the business in the ordinary course of business. But what they do is engage with what's called a small business restructuring practitioner to implement a restructure plan. And they've got 20 business days to do that. Who can be a small business restructure practitioner? It's a mouthful. A registered liquidator is the answer to the question, although they are indicating that there will be a separate class created of a new registered liquidator who may have lesser qualifications, but we don't know because that's in the rules and regulations. So once the plan's implemented, that's sent out to creditors. The administrator charges a flat fee for that. He makes a recommendation to creditors together with a certification as to whether the business can meet these obligations and also whether the affairs of the company have been properly disclosed. If you flick again, thanks, Shane. So there's no meeting of creditors, similar to a creditor's voluntary liquidation. Creditors have 15 days to vote on the proposal, so there's no meetings. It requires at least 50% of creditors in value to vote in favour. Related parties aren't entitled to vote, another safety mechanism. And if accepted, it's the administrator that dishes out the money to the creditors pursuant to the terms of the agreement.